Chapter 3663, Swoosh. Within the Invincible domain, Water Demon and Golden Leo flew towards the depths of the domain. Rumble. At this very moment, Wang Xian and the Lava Galactic Behemoth were engaged in a battle. The Lava Astral Beast was extremely powerful and had a terrifying body size. However, with Wang Xian's advantage in speed, the Lava Astral Beast could not put up any resistance. Dragon King, the 100-odd experts of the Magic Breakers have not left. They are hovering in the void ahead. I'm not sure what they are planning. At this moment, a voice was transmitted into Wang Xian's mind. Oh! Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he heard Wu Shou's voice transmission. The main reason why he did not let Wu Shou attack was to let her be on guard. He had no intention of harming them, but he had to be on guard. The 100-odd old monsters were very powerful. Wang Xian wanted to prevent them from launching a sneak attack. Of course, he would be glad to see them launch a sneak attack. At that time, he would kill them all. However, he was curious why the 100-odd old monsters of the Magic Breakers did not leave. Although they were very powerful, it was impossible for them to deal with him. He had killed the crazy demon seal. Some experts even guessed that the old witch had been killed by him. This news had spread throughout the Invincible domain. Anyone with a little intelligence would be able to guess his strength. He was definitely not someone a crazy demon-level expert could deal with. He was not the Lava Astral Beast. Wu Shou, monitor them carefully. In addition, set up some arrays on the right to prevent any unexpected situations. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he ordered Wu Shou. At this moment, no one knew about Wang Xian's trump card. But for now, his biggest trump card was Wu Shou. Wu Shou, a crazy demon-level expert. And a sorcerer. She was now hiding in the dark. If there was really an expert with ill intentions and wanted to deal with Wang Xian, Wu Shou, as his trump card, would definitely be a terrifying existence. Not many experts in the Invincible domain could withstand a crazy demon-level expert. Yes. Wu Shou's voice was heard. I would like to see what you guys are up to. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he looked at the Lava Astral Beast. He decided to kill it later to preserve his trump card. After all, the outside world still didn't know his full strength and trump card. Slowing down the hunting speed of the giant Lava Astral Beast would also give the group of Magic Breakers an illusion. It was a misconception that he wasn't very strong. Originally, he could have killed the Lava Astral Beast within 10 minutes. However, Wang Xian had to drag it out forcefully. The battle over there is still going on. I don't know what's going on. Ju Tong, go and check it out. Time ticked by. An hour later, the powerful divine tiger spoke to an old monster. All right. Cast some concealment spells and formations on me. The Dragon King is too powerful. I'm afraid of being discovered. Nine Pupil nodded and swept his gaze around. All right. With our formation enveloping you, the Dragon King won't be able to discover you when he's fighting the Lava Astral Beast. Moreover, your pupils can see very far. The Magi nodded and immediately enveloped the nine-eyed eye with a spell formation. Ju Tong, an old monster of a demonic beast. With 4 claws, it could lie on the ground or stand upright. His strongest talent was his eye technique. On his face, there were 9 eyes arranged in 3 rows. Every time he opened an eye, he could unleash an even more powerful and bizarre eye technique. At the same time, his investigation was something that the other old monsters couldn't compare to. 9 Pupil was enveloped in a spell formation. With a move, he lay down and flew towards the direction of the battle. They weren't very far from the battlefield. Soon, he was near the aftermath of the battle. He lay there, and the eyes on his face slowly opened. His deep pupils emitted the power of light and dispelled all the obstacles. The scene of the battle between Wang Xian and the Lava Astral Beast was clearly transmitted to his eyes. The Dragon King is indeed powerful. His incredible speed has completely suppressed the Lava Astral Beast. His defense is terrifying. From the looks of it, he should be able to kill the Lava Astral Beast with ease. Ju Tong mumbled to himself as he stared at Wang Xian, who was fighting the Lava Astral Beast. Just as they had imagined, the Dragon King was very strong. However, he wasn't so strong that he could easily kill a crazy demon. Moreover, he had only suffered so many injuries after fighting with the lava astral beast for an hour. The Dragon King wasn't really invincible. Wang. His 9 pupils flickered slightly and the scene of the battle was completely sealed in his pupils. Dragon King, there's an expert from the demon breaking circle watching your battle. Do you want me to go over and eliminate him? Wang Xian, who was in the midst of battle, heard Wu Shou's voice again. No need, let him monitor. Wang Xian replied immediately. Yes. Wu Shou replied. Her eyes flickered slightly and she continued to set up the spell formation around them. After observing the battle for more than 10 minutes, Ju Tong moved and flew back. How's the battle between the Dragon King and the lava astral beast? When Ju Tong arrived, over 100 experts from the demon breaking circle asked immediately. Take a look for yourselves. I think it's within our expectations. Ju Tong's pupils shone brightly as he displayed the scene of the battle just now. Looking at the battle on the screen, the eyes of the old monsters flickered. He's completely suppressed that lava astral beast. His speed is terrifying, but his attack seems to be much weaker. I think his strength is lower than we expected. We guessed that his combat strength is comparable to 3 crazy demons. Now it seems that he's about the same after using his other trump cards. I think even if he uses his trump cards, he'll at most be comparable to 2.5 crazy demons. However, this Dragon King should have many innate cardinal treasures. After all, his Dragon Palace has auctioned off innate cardinal treasures before. More than 100 experts began to speculate as they watched the battle unfold. Although he was already very strong, he wasn't as invincible as they had imagined. Lord Jin An will be here in an hour. When he arrives, let's report the situation to him. The old man in the illusory palace above his head spoke at this moment. The rest of the old monsters nodded their heads. Swoosh. An hour passed quickly. From behind them, a tiny river was flying towards them at a terrifying speed. Inside the tiny river, Jin too stood quietly. We're here. He looked ahead with sparkling eyes. Chapter 3664. Greetings, Lord Jin An. Greetings, Lord Jin An. Seeing Jin An and Water Devil's arrival, the Devil Breaker and the other experts immediately greeted Jin An. Jin An, the strongest expert in the circle of demon breakers, was also a mad demon in the Invincible domain. Jin An nodded at them. Swoosh. At the side, the water slowly formed into the shape of a human. The powerful beings of the breaker circle faltered slightly at the sight of the figure manifested from the streams of water, and their faces were filled with astonishment. Water demon. One of the experts couldn't help but exclaim. It's Water Demon. Greetings, Lord Water Demon. The eyes of the surrounding experts turned cold and they hurriedly cupped their fist. Water Demon looked at them and nodded lightly. This time, I invited Water Demon here. What's the situation now? Jin An looked at them, swept her gaze forward, and asked. From here, they could sense the terrifying battle coming from the depths ahead. Lord Jin An, the Dragon King is still fighting with the giant lava astral beast. This is a video I obtained not long ago. Ju Tong looked at Jin An and said respectfully. His eyes flashed. The scene of the battle just now appeared in front of them once again. This Dragon King is very strong. Water Demon stared at the video. He's so strong. He hasn't broken through to the Universe Lord realm, but he hasn't lost his mind. That's because this Dragon King has enough eternal pregnancy fruits. He has consumed a lot of them at a fixed time. Jin An looked at the video and replied. In that case, this Dragon King's corpse alone is a treasure to us. Water Demon said lightly. It should be of great use to us. From the video, if we join forces, we have the confidence to kill him. Jin An's eyes flashed. The Dragon King was strong, but he felt that he could deal with him. This wasn't like the outside world, where it would take at least 3 experts to kill someone of the same level. This was the Invincible domain, where it was difficult for anyone to escape. As long as one side was stronger than the other, there was a chance to kill the other. Then let's do it. It's best if we can capture him alive. Water Demon made his decision without hesitation. All right. Jin An also nodded heavily. He had the same thought, especially after seeing the battle between the Dragon King and the lava astral beast. If all of them joined forces, they would be able to deal with him. Are you going to attack the Dragon King? Kill the Dragon King? If we have Lord Jin-an and Lord Water Demon, our chances will be very high. Lord Jin-an and Lord Water Demon are preparing to take action. They must be confident. Kill that Dragon King. How dare he steal our lava astral behemoth? Destroy him. A dozen or so powerful beings from the Breaker Circle immediately exclaimed with excitement in their eyes. Are we going to attack the Dragon King? The eyes of some old monsters flickered. The Dragon King was very strong. There was a possibility of dying when fighting against the Dragon King. Get ready to attack the Dragon King. Water Demon and I will take the Dragon King's corpse. The colossal lava astral beast belongs to you. If you don't agree, leave immediately. Jin-an looked at all the experts and said indifferently. The exorcists exchanged glances with one another. Kill. We might be able to break through during the battle if we fight against an expert like the Dragon King. Haha, that Dragon King is very arrogant. He said he wanted to sweep the entire Invincible domain. Let us, the exorcists, destroy him. That's right. Kill that Dragon King. How dare he steal our colossal lava astral beast? Kill him. Soon, the group of experts laughed and said. They were the old monsters of the Invincible domain. They were not afraid of killing. They were not afraid of death at all. Now that they had to surround and kill a Dragon King who stole their colossal lava astral beast and ruined their plans, none of them backed down. Kill. Moreover, as long as they killed the Dragon King, the colossal lava astral beast would belong to all of them. A colossal lava astral beast that was comparable to a crazy demon was very precious to them, especially after Jin-an refused the colossal lava astral beast's heart. Alright, if that's the case, let's get ready to attack. To prevent that Dragon King from escaping, let's surround him. Jin-an smiled faintly and ordered. The group of old monsters nodded heavily. Be careful. That Dragon King is very fast. He can easily defeat us one by one, the old man in the illusory palace reminded. I'll be in the center. Water Demon, Void Palace Immortal, and Bao who will be around me. Each of us will have 30 to 40 experts to prevent that Dragon King from beheading us with his powerful speed. Block his attacks and then suppress him, Jin-an commanded. Alright. Water Demon had no objections. Although Water Demon and Jin-an were of the same level, Water Demon was only a clone. Jin-an, who was the strongest, was a crazy demon at his peak. Since Water Demon had no objections, the rest of the experts naturally had no objections. Void Palace Immortal, Shun-hu, and Bao who were all top experts in the Invincible domain. They led 30 to 40 experts, which was enough to fight against a crazy demon-level expert. The experts in the Circle of Devil Breakers were all very powerful. In the Invincible domain, they were considered to be above average. Surround him bit by bit. Be careful, once you're discovered by that Dragon King, immediately attack with all your might. That lava astral beast will also cause a lot of trouble for that Dragon King. This time, it won't be difficult to kill or even suppress that Dragon King, Jin-an said. With a wave of his palm, a golden mountain floated above his head. On the golden mountain, there was a special stream of water flowing on it. This golden mountain was an inborn cardinal treasure. As for the stream of water on the golden mountain, it was added by Jin-an. It was also a very powerful treasure. He looked around and saw that Water Demon, Void Palace Immortal, and Bao who each had an inborn cardinal treasure in front of them. They slowly approached the front. Dragon King, they're approaching. I think they're going to attack you. However, just as they moved, Wu Shou's voice rang in Wang Xian's mind. He, as expected. Wang Xian revealed a cold smile. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and smashed the 5 elements grindstone on the head of the lava astral beast. In an instant, the lava astral beast let out a blood-curdling scream. On Wang Xian's body, there was a long gash. The body of the lava astral beast fell to the ground and its vitality was rapidly disappearing. As for Wang Xian, his aura seemed much weaker. Jin-an and the rest of the experts, who were encircling Dragon King, narrowed their eyes when they heard the blood-curdling scream of the lava astral beast. Speed up. Let's observe the situation first. Jin'an immediately sent a voice transmission and increased his speed. Against the Dragon King, he didn't dare to be careless. Chapter 3665. Huh? The golden centipede maniac devil flew towards the battlefield. Soon, the scene before him appeared in his sight. When he saw this scene, his eyes narrowed. The rest of the experts also saw the scene before them. The huge corpse of the lava astral beast was suspended in the air. The aura of the Dragon King was much weaker and there was a wound on his body from the lava astral beast's attack. Ha! What a fast speed! How did the Dragon King kill the lava astral beast so quickly? Impressive. The lava astral beast was killed by him. However, he was injured too. This is a great opportunity for us. He must have used some powerful trump card. This is our chance. The experts from the Circle of Demon Breakers looked ahead with joy in their eyes. Attack. Jin Rong squinted his eyes and gave the order to attack. At this moment, the Dragon King happened to be injured. This was the time for them to attack. Wang, swoosh swoosh. Jin Rong did not hesitate. The golden mountain in his hand flew up. Water flowed on it and it exploded with golden and blue radiance. A waterspout was formed instantly. In the middle of the waterspout was a horrifying golden mountain. It charged towards Wang Xian directly. Water Devil Palm, Celestial Kingdom, Suppress, Divine Tiger Roar. From the left and right, horrifying attacks were launched towards Wang Xian instantly. What? Seeing them attacking him, Wang Xian pretended to be shocked and growled, "You guys are courting death." As he spoke, he kept the lava astral beast and dodged to the back without any hesitation. Ha ha, courting death. Dragon King, you are the one who is courting death. How dare you snatch the astral beast from the demon breakers? Today will be the day you die. Escape. Dragon King, don't even think about escaping. Didn't you say that you wanted to wipe out the entire Invincible domain? Why are you escaping now? Seeing Wang Xian dodging to the right, the 150 experts from the Circle of Demon Breakers were excited. They shouted loudly. The Dragon King did not fight them and escaped directly. This meant that the Dragon King was severely injured. Moreover, in order to kill the lava astral beast, he might have used a powerful technique. For now, that technique could not be used. Swish. Wang Xian moved his body and fled to the back quickly. Give chase. Golden Centipede Maniac Devil roared and suddenly increased his speed. As long as he could restrain the Dragon King temporarily, he would be able to surround the Dragon King. Once surrounded, he was confident that he could suppress them. Hee, we're here. Wang Xian continued to fly deeper. When he stepped into this region, a smile appeared on his face. However, he didn't stop. The group of exorcist experts behind him continued to pursue him. Wu Shuo, lock onto that guy who looks like a bee-man. I'm going to kill him instantly. Wang Xian immediately ordered Wu Shuo. It's the Dragon King. He is Jinan, also a mad devil expert. The other waterman is Water Devil, also a mad devil. However, that waterman is just a powerful water clone of Water Devil. Wu Shuo said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded slightly. Wu Shuo had already noticed Jin Tu and Water Demon when they arrived. There must be a conspiracy behind their arrival. Wang Xian was already prepared. A pinnacle mad devil and a powerful clone of the mad devil. In addition, he could sense that there were two more powerful old monsters among them. If he could kill one of them in a second, Wang Xian could easily kill all of them in one fell swoop. I'll start with Golden Centipede. Let's see who's courting death. Wang Xian's unbeginning sacred wings flapped. The 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon wheel glowed with light. In fact, in front of him, phantoms of nether ghosts began to appear. Dragon King, he's here. Wu Shuo's voice came from behind. Golden Centipede was the fastest. He was the first to step into the range of Wu Shuo's array. At this moment, Wu Shuo's array was fully activated. She targeted one of Golden Centipede's expert. 4 arrays, Trapping Array and Killing Array, were activated at the same time. At this moment, Wang Xian's unbeginning sacred wings flapped violently. The power of wind and thunder flowed rapidly. He quickly turned around and the nether ghost doppelgangers appeared on his left and right. Roar roar. Wang Xian let out a deep roar and transformed into his divine dragon form. The Tai Chi dragon wheel circled him and the 5 elements grindstone hovered above his head. Lingling had also appeared beside Wang Xian. All sorts of augmentation abilities were cast on Wang Xian. At this moment, he unleashed all his energy and trump card. Swoosh. His dragon body flickered and disappeared instantly. Oh no, there's an ambush. When Golden Centipede sensed the energy of the surrounding array, he suddenly had a bad feeling. In particular, when he sensed the drastic change in the aura of the Dragon King in front of him, his expression changed drastically. With a wave of his arm, Golden Centipede flew towards him and instantly arrived above his head. Golden light shrouded the water, and he was in the middle, completely enveloped by the golden light and water. What a terrifying speed! The Dragon King doesn't seem to be injured at all. Could he have known about our attack in advance? What's with this array? At this moment, he was filled with doubt. Oh no, there's an ambush. It's an array. At the back, over 150 experts were stunned when they saw the sudden surge of power. They shouted loudly, "Rumble, rumble, rumble." The moment they realized it, the 4 terrifying arrays were already descending on Golden Centipede. The mad demon Golden Centipede was very strong. However, he was facing the strongest sorcerer in the Invincible domain, the Old Witch. Caught off guard, he could only use his inborn cardinal treasure to defend himself. However, he was caught off guard by the Old Witch's well-prepared attack. When the terrifying array landed on the inborn cardinal treasure, the entire inborn cardinal treasure, Golden Centipede, shook violently. The water flow on it also stopped instantly. The massive Golden Centipede was sent flying backward. At this moment, Wang Xian appeared in front of him. The terrifying 5 elemental grindstone arrived above his head. The 5 divine dragons revolved rapidly as the destructive power of the 5 elemental grindstone surged towards him. The Tai Chi dragon coiling light and dark divine dragon covered the dragon claws as they clawed towards him. On the left and right, 4 dark ghost avatars charged towards him at the same time. No, no, no. The mad demon Golden Centipede trembled violently at the sight of this terrifying attack. If the attack of the array had caught him off guard and could already injure him, Wang Xian's attack could already be fatal to him. He could clearly sense the threat of death. This was an attack that would definitely kill him. Fart. However, given Wang Xian's speed, he couldn't block it at all. The destructive force of the 5 elements penetrated his body as the dragon claws grabbed him. Instant. Chapter 3666. Cough, cough. Jin Tu's eyes widened in disbelief. His mouth was agape and his body was trembling violently. His vitality was disappearing at a terrifying speed. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He was killed in an instant. Killed in an instant. He didn't even have the strength to resist. He didn't even understand why the Dragon King would set up such a horrifying array here. Were there sorcerers around? What was going on? He died just like that. He couldn't accept it. But at the same time, he was horrified. What? How could this be possible, Lord Jin Tu? Lord Jin Tu. Lord Jin Tu. Behind him, the group of over 150 experts from the Circle of Demon Breakers and Water Demons doppelganger trembled violently when they saw this. Their eyes widened as they stared at this scene in disbelief. Mad Demon Jin Tu, their Lord Jin Tu, one of the most elite existences in the Invincible domain. The strongest expert among them was killed in an instant. Killed in an instant without any time to dodge. What kind of power was that? Where did that horrifying array come from? How could the Dragon King's attack be so horrifying? Lord Jin Tu was killed. Why were they still resisting the godlike Dragon King? It's your turn now. After killing Jin Tu, Wang Xian could sense that Jin Tu was not completely dead yet. He had been resurrected somewhere else. But now, he was no longer a threat to Wang Xian. He shook his dragon body and flapped his unbeginning saint wings. He stared coldly at the group of experts from the Circle of Demon Breakers. Swoosh. In an instant, Wang Xian, who had pushed his speed to the limit, arrived before the group of experts from the circle of demon breakers. He locked his eyes on the Void Palace Immortal and the surrounding experts and charged forward. Oh no, he's under attack. Attack the Dragon King! The Void Palace Immortal shouted in horror as he trembled violently when he saw Wang Xian charging towards him. Bao Hu and the rest of the experts from the circle of demon breakers looked over and their expressions changed drastically. Their Lord Jin too was dead. It was impossible for them to kill the Dragon King. Swoosh! Swoosh! At this instant, Water Demon, who was at the side, retreated immediately when he saw this scene. There was no hesitation, no pause. After seeing Jinnen's death, he already knew the outcome of this battle. What? Lord Water Demon! Water Demon escaped. The experts in the circle of demon breakers around Water Demon roared in anger when they saw Water Demon leaving. Now that Water Demon had left, they were even less qualified to resist. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows at the Water Demon's escape. I'll kill you first. Wang Xian stared at the Void Palace Immortals and the group of experts. The Tai Chi Dragon disc spun, and the 5 elements grindstone hovered in the air. Facing the attack of 30 to 40 Void Palace Immortals, he directly charged forward. Boom! Wang Xian broke through their attacks and came within 100,000 kilometers of them. The distance was too close, too close. Boom! With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements grindstone shrouded above them. The 4 Dark Ghost avatars had completely surrounded them. Each of the 4 Dark Ghost clones was comparable to experts like the Void Palace Immortals. Each of them was comparable to a universe lord. Even if the Void Palace Immortals joined forces, they could only deal with 3 Dark Ghost clones. Under such circumstances, how were they going to defend against Wang Xian's sneak attack? A huge suppression of strength. Bao Hu, save us. The Void Palace Immortals trembled violently as they saw the Dragon King's unstoppable attack. Save! Bao Hu's expression changed drastically as he looked at the surrounding experts. The experts in the circle of demon breakers exchanged looks. We are no match for the Dragon King. Run! Behind Bao Hu, an expert roared loudly. Without any hesitation, he also fled to the back. His actions had set a precedent for the other expert. Now they understood that with Lord Jin dead and Water Demon escaping, they were no longer a match for the Dragon King. If they stayed here, they might be killed. With one person escaping, the group of experts around Bao Hu did not hesitate and immediately ran away. Wang. However, just as they were about to escape, an array shrouded them. Water Demon escaped very quickly. Wu Shou, who was hiding in the dark, had just released her array and did not have the chance to stop him. However, it was too late for the rest of the experts. One after another, extremely powerful array formations shrouded them. They were completely surrounded. The dozens of experts who were about to escape were instantly shrouded in a black mist. In the depths of the mist, horrifying snakeheads could be seen. Oh no, there's a sorcerer in the dark, an array sorcerer. He's very powerful. Bao Hu's heart skipped a beat when he saw the array that had suddenly risen. If the array hadn't attacked Lord Jinan from the start, perhaps he wouldn't have been killed instantly. The sorcerer behind the array that could knock away Lord Jinan's carnate cardinal treasure was definitely very powerful. Ah! At this moment, screams came from the side. Dark Ghost clones, Dark Ghost clones. Dragon King, how could you have Dark Ghost clones? How is this possible? Ah, run, run, run. The strength of this Dragon King is too horrifying. We can't stop him. Horrified voices rang out continuously. The Void Palace Immortal was already screaming. Ah! At this moment, the illusory palace above the Void Palace Immortal's head had almost solidified. Within the palace, the spells and Dao techniques were bombarding Wang Xian. However, they couldn't break through Wang Xian's defense. The Void Palace Immortal's eyes were filled with despair. He was doomed. There was no way to escape. They couldn't return to their own holy kingdom instantly. They would definitely die. Dragon breath of life. Wang Xian bellowed. Streaks of horrifying wood attribute attacks shrouded the Void Palace Immortal and the rest of the expert. This attack made the Void Palace Immortal and the rest of the experts feel a little hopeless. The circle of devil breakers? Don't even think of escaping. Under the attack of Wang Xian and the Dark Ghost clones, only 7 or 8 experts were left of the 30 to 40 experts around the Void Palace Immortal. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew out and attacked Bao Hu and the rest of the expert. At the same time, Wang Xian didn't continue to care about the remaining experts. It was a piece of cake to leave it to the Dark Ghost clones. Bao Hu and the rest of the experts had just been enveloped by the array. Before they could break the array, they saw the Supreme Treasure and the Dragon King attacking them with Death Aura. This made them hold their breath. Chapter 3667. It's over, it's all over. Why is the Dragon King so strong? We didn't even see the face of the hidden sorcerer. I don't have any life-saving treasures. I haven't broken through. I can't accept this. Bao Hu and the experts around him trembled violently. Their faces were filled with despair. Looking at the Dragon King and the horrifying 5 elements grindstone, they lost all will to fight. There was no way to resist. From the start to the end, they did not even see the Magus hiding in the dark. It wasn't that they didn't see him, but they didn't have the chance to see him. The sorcerer was clearly behind them. However, they couldn't see him clearly because they were shrouded by the spirit array. In addition, the Dragon King charged straight at them and didn't give them a chance to see him clearly. Therefore, they didn't realize that the one who attacked them was the old witch. If they knew, they would probably feel even more despair. Inborn technique, all of you shall die. Wang Xian shouted. The 5 elements grindstone released all kinds of powerful inborn spiritual treasures and shrouded them. At the same time, he moved and charged at Bao Hu. The huge difference in strength made it impossible for them to resist. We still have a chance. We still have a chance. Run. The group of experts who were originally following around Water Demon were the only ones who weren't tangled up. Their faces were filled with terror as they fled into the distance. Ah! However, the screams continued to ring out from behind. Bao Hu, a top-notch expert from the Invincible domain, was killed in an instant. Wang Xian flapped his wings and chased after them without hesitation. With his speed, how could these old monsters hide from him? The old monsters were easily killed by Wang Xian. In less than 10 minutes, all the experts were killed by him. Hehe, this is a great harvest. Wang Xian had killed over 150 experts from the Circle of Demon Breakers, as well as the frenzied Golden Bear Demon. Wang Xian's rewards this time were simply too great. Inborn cardinal treasures, corpses of powerful old monsters, and the corpse of a giant galactic beast. All of these could bring great improvements to the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, you're really strong. I only used some spirit arrays and you killed all of them. At this moment, Wu Sha flew out from behind and said with respect and admiration. Wang Xian's strength had indeed shocked her. It's all right. Wang Xian smiled faintly and said, Wu Sha, let's go. Let's head to the lair of the Exorcist Circle immediately. Hurry. As he spoke, the unbeginning saint wings flapped and enveloped him directly, and he flew out. Naturally, they were going for the divine kingdoms and the treasures within them. Whether it was the mad demon Golden Leo or the rest of the old monsters, all their treasures and resources were in their own divine kingdoms. Not to mention the value of the god nation itself, just the other treasures, as old monsters of the Invincible domain who had lived for billions of years, how could they not have something good? At the very least, treasures like the divine tree and divine grass wouldn't be few in number. It might even be a huge number. Their savings and the treasures collected by these 10 experts should be comparable to a powerful high-level race in the outside world. Furthermore, it was a high-level race with several third-order universe sovereigns. It would not be an exaggeration to say that if they killed them and obtained their divine kingdoms, then they would be able to harvest all the treasures of a dozen high-level races. In particular, the divine kingdom of the mad demon Golden Leo would contain even more treasures. In fact, this could even bring Wang Xian a huge amount of dragon energy, which would be a huge accumulation for his next advancement. Wu Sha, use these corpses to find the location of their divine kingdoms. As Wang Xian flew, he passed the corpses to Wu Sha beside him. Sorcerers could use corpses to find the location of the dead experts' divine kingdoms. Yes, Dragon King. Wu Sha nodded and immediately began searching. At my top speed, it will take about 2 hours to fly from here to the outside world, Wang Xian murmured as he stared ahead. This speed was already terrifying. However, he was a little worried that some experts who had life-saving means and resurrected would escape. Especially Jin Liu. If he escaped with his divine kingdom, it would be a great loss. Dragon King, it seems that the divine kingdom of the mad demon Golden Leo should be in the lair of the Exorcist Circle. Many of the Exorcist experts' divine kingdoms are located in the same place. Before long, Wu Shuo spoke. The Exorcist Circle could be said to be a force. A special force in the Invincible domain. They were determined to build a pinnacle force. As a force, they would naturally place their divine kingdom in their lair. At least, 80% of the experts in the Exorcist Circle would do so. Wang Xian flew at high speed. That Dragon King is so strong and terrifying. And that array. There must be a powerful sorcerer beside the Dragon King. Damn it. Damn it. My cultivation, my strength. At this moment, in the lair of the Exorcist Circle in the Invincible domain. The lair of the Exorcist Circle was located on the side of the Long River. Over there, an incomparably powerful divine kingdom was embedded in the void chasm. Even after more than 10 billion years, this dilapidated divine kingdom still contained great power. This was the dilapidated divine kingdom of a universe lord. Moreover, it was not an ordinary first or second order universe lord. However, this divine kingdom was embedded in the void chasm, and there was a void storm surrounding the void chasm. In order to take this dilapidated divine kingdom away, they had to deal with the void storm. And this terrifying windstorm could easily kill a second order universe ruler. Within this dilapidated divine kingdom, Mad Devil Jin Tu's divine kingdom was located. He stood in the main hall of the divine kingdom, his body trembling slightly, and his eyes filled with rage. In just an instant, he was killed by the Dragon King. Fortunately, he had a life-saving treasure. However, a life-saving treasure could only protect his life. His original body and the energy within it had been completely lost. Now, he only had the strength of a second-order universe lord. To be able to retain such strength was already very strong. However, if he wanted to recover to his peak, he would need a lot of resources and treasures. I wonder what's going on with the Void Palace. I was killed in an instant. The Void Palace is no match for the Dragon King, especially when he has a powerful sorcerer. Who would have thought that I would be ambushed by the Dragon King? Is there an expert in the Exorcist Circle who colluded with the Dragon King, or? Jin Tu's expression changed constantly. At this moment, he sensed something and quickly looked towards a stone tablet in the main hall. When he saw the light spots on the stone tablet dimming, his expression changed. Chapter 3668. The stone stele in the Divine Kingdom's main hall was able to see if the experts of the Broken Devil Circle were alive or dead. The moment an expert died, the light that belonged to him would disappear. At this moment, Jin Chuang saw that most of the demon breaker powerhouses on the stele had been extinguished. This meant that the 150 experts of the Broken Devil Circle were all dead. Isn't this speed too fast? Could there be an ambush? We're finished. The entire Broken Devil Circle is finished. Jin Tu's body trembled violently, and his expression changed continuously. Since you're all dead, I'll help you collect the treasures in the Divine Kingdom. This is to prevent the Dragon King from finding them. Jin Tu's expression sank as he muttered to himself. Right now, his strength was less than 1/100th of his peak. He was only a second-order universe sovereign. With such strength, he would be considered a weak existence even in the Invincible domain. If he wanted to recover quickly, he would need a large amount of resources. Now that the experts of the Broken Devil Circle were dead, he would be able to obtain the treasures in their divine kingdoms. That way, he would be able to recover his strength quickly. The Dragon King's speed is too fast. Based on his speed, if he rushes over directly, it will take him 1 to 2 hours. I need to bring their divine kingdoms and treasures to my divine kingdom within an hour. As he spoke, Maniac Golden Blaze's figure flashed and he immediately flew out. Even though the divine kingdom they were in was destroyed, it wasn't as simple as they thought. Some places in the divine kingdom required some treasures to enter. Otherwise, Even a second-order sovereign realm expert wouldn't be able to enter. The place where Jin 2 was in was incomparably safe. Even 10 of him at his peak would not be able to break through. To enter, one needed a key, and this key was in his hand. Jin 2 knew where the Broken Devil Circle and the other old monsters' divine kingdoms were located. Furthermore, he had a way to enter. He quickly arrived at a large hall by the side, holding a jade stone in his hand. The jade stone shone brightly, illuminating the area below. Below, a space was directly opened up. This space was incomparably huge, and there were large numbers of divine kingdoms within. He quickly moved the divine kingdom into the space where his own divine kingdom was located. Lord Jin An is dead. All the other experts are dead. This was an expert that had been revived through a supreme treasure. He sensed the activity outside and flew out from his divine kingdom. His entire body was incomparably weak. He looked at Jin 2's behavior and said with sparkling eyes, "Move all the divine nations to the domain where my divine nations is. You go too. We'll hide in that domain and prevent the Dragon King from attacking." Jinan glanced at the expert and immediately said, All right. The expert, who was still in shock, immediately nodded. There were about 200 powerful demon breakers, but most of them were either cultivating in seclusion or going to other places to train. Only Jin An and the others were in their lair. Golden Blaze heaved a sigh of relief after moving all the divine kingdoms to his own. With these treasures in the divine kingdom, he would recover much faster. It was even to the extent that he could use the resources of the other powerhouses to recover to his peak. This time, out of more than 150 experts, 8 of them had life-saving treasures and survived. If I can recover to my peak, I'll wreak havoc in the Dragon Palace. Half an hour later, Golden Blaze sat on the throne in the main hall of the divine kingdom of Crazed Demon and said with a hideous face, the entire demon breakers were done for. He had been killed once too. He had to avenge himself. Although the Dragon King was heaven-defying, he was still very confident in dealing with the other disciples and experts of the Dragon Palace. Let's wreak havoc in the Dragon Palace. When the time comes, we'll target the disciples of the Dragon Palace and let the Dragon King know the price of killing us. In front of him, the 9 old monsters of the Demon Breakers also roared ferociously. They had all survived with the help of their life-saving treasures. All of them had been killed by Wang Xian. However, each of them was weaker than the other. One of them even had the strength of a divine king. Let's improve our strength first. It's safer here. The Dragon King can't enter. As Golden Blaze spoke, he began to pick up the treasures he had collected and began to recover his strength. The other 9 old monsters nodded solemnly and flew towards their own divine kingdoms. Time passed quickly. The Dragon King is here. The lair of the Demon Breakers is just ahead. Time passed quickly. Wu Shuo pointed to a direction across the river and spoke to Wang Xian. Wang Xian looked over. That place was like a huge ancient city that pierced through the void. It looked exceptionally majestic and magnificent. The entire ancient city contained a terrifying amount of energy. It was especially so at the place where the crack in the void was filled with void storms. The energy within was extremely violent. Wang Xian nodded. Dragon King, based on my senses, their divine kingdom is here. Wu Shuo continued. Yes, even the resurrected Golden Blaze is here. They didn't escape. There should be a strong defense here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here, said Wang Xian as he swept his gaze across the surroundings. This place used to be known as the Traversing Void Ancient Divine Kingdom. It later became the lair of the Demon Breakers. The Traversing Void Ancient Divine Kingdom isn't completely destroyed. Some places still contain energy and laws. They should be hiding in this divine kingdom. Dragon King, this divine kingdom was built by at least a 4th-order universe lord. We don't have the key or the method to enter, Wu Shuo explained. Wang Xian nodded and moved closer to the Traversing Void Ancient Divine Kingdom. He looked around. Indeed, there were many places with strong restrictions. The Divine Kingdom also contained powerful energy and laws. These laws and energy came from the void storms at the crack in the void. Boom. Wang Xian waved his arm. The destructive force of the five elements attacked a part of the dilapidated divine kingdom, Wang. The attack landed on the divine kingdom, but it didn't budge at all. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows. This traversing void ancient divine kingdom wasn't something he could break. He took out the universe AI and sent a message. Soon, he set up a devil spirit altar in front of him. Enlai's figure gradually appeared. Enlai, enter the interior of this divine kingdom and see which space has a large number of divine kingdoms. Be careful. Wang Xian instructed Enlai immediately when he saw him. At the same time, the Tai Chi dragon plate floated around him. Chapter 3669. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai appeared in front of Wang Xian and the rest and nodded his head respectfully in response. Although Enlai's strength was weak, it was terrifying to teleport in such a place. He had never encountered a place that could trap Enlai. Enlai looked around and saw the Tai Chi dragon plate around him. A smile appeared on his face. His body moved and disappeared in an instant. Wang Xian stood in the void and waited quietly. Enlai entered a space in the dilapidated holy nation. He looked around and disappeared instantly. Soon, he came to a space full of holy nations. His eyes lit up when he saw the large number of holy nations. Wang, Dragon King, we found them. The next moment, Enlai came to Wang Xian and reported to him. Great, bring us there. Wang Xian smiled. Maniac Jinsha and the rest must have thought that they couldn't break through the strong defense here. Therefore, they didn't leave. But they didn't expect there to be a mysterious existence like Enlai. Wang Xian and Wu Shuo were shrouded by Enlai. Their vision changed and huge holy nations appeared in their sight. Looking at these holy nations, Wang Xian's eyes beamed with excitement. There were more than 150 god kingdoms, and every single one of them contained immense power. This was the lair of the experts from the Invincible domain. It contained all their collections and resources. Hihi, there are still 9 of them alive. Through Wang Xian's senses, his eyes shone brightly. With a swift move, he charged towards the 9 expert. These 9 experts were now all living together. The powerful holy nation in the center. Huff. At this time, Maniac Jinsha and the 8 experts who were revived with their life-saving treasures did not sense Wang Xian's arrival. At this moment, they were standing in the main hall of Maniac Jinsha's holy nation, breathing heatedly as they stared ahead. In front of them, more than half of the main hall was filled with treasures. All kinds of holy nations with divine herbs, powerful books, the bones of giant astral beasts, and powerful innate spiritual treasures. The amount was terrifying. They had gathered the treasures of more than 100 experts together. This was only a part of it. There were still some divine trees and divine herbs that were still growing in those holy nations. They didn't bring them over. These treasures could allow them to quickly recover their strength, allowing them to return to their peak. For a few powerhouses, these treasures might even allow them to advance further. Their breathing was slightly hurried and excited. Perhaps this time, they would be able to profit from this disaster. First, distribute the treasures that can help you recover. Once your strength is fully restored, you can use these treasures to enhance your strength again. Once we recover to our peak, we will seek revenge on the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. We are no match for him, but as long as we keep an eye on the experts and disciples of Dragon Palace, it will be enough. Golden Bear stared at them and said, "It's Lord Jin," and everyone nodded their heads respectfully, their eyes burning with passion. Boom. But at this moment, the entire God Kingdom suddenly trembled. What? The sudden trembling of the Mad Fiend Divine Kingdom caused all the experts to be taken aback. Their faces were filled with astonishment. Not good, someone's intruding into my Divine Kingdom. How is this possible? Golden Blaze's eyes widened as he roared in disbelief. He could clearly sense that a terrifying force was invading his body. Against this force, his Divine Kingdom could not withstand it at all. Hee, old fogey from the evil breaker circle. After attacking me, you still want to deal with our Dragon Palace? Go to hell. Ka. At this moment, the sound of the void shattering reverberated. Golden Blaze's Divine Kingdom was torn apart. Wang Xian's figure appeared in their line of sight. His body contained a terrifying dragon might, which directly swept towards them. This surge of dragon might was enough to kill a second-order sovereign realm expert. It's the Dragon King. How is this possible? How can he enter the core of the Hongshu ancient divine kingdom? How is this possible? Golden Bear and the 8 experts stared at this scene in disbelief and despair. As Wang Xian's dragon might swept across, the entire divine kingdom of Golden Bear trembled as it tried to resist the power of the dragon might. It's over. At this moment, Golden Bear felt the power of the dragon might, and his eyes were filled with despair. But at this moment, his eyes widened again as he stared at the familiar figure beside Wang Xian in horror. How is this possible? Old witch, it's you. He roared in disbelief. The old witch was actually standing beside the Dragon King. What's going on? Trying to kill the Dragon King? You're courting death. The old witch stared at Golden Bear and said emotionlessly. Golden Bear's body trembled violently as his eyes gradually turned bloodshot. Ah! At this moment, the 8 subordinates in front of him crumbled under the sweeping dragon might. They knelt on the ground as their vitality rapidly disappeared. Ah! When he saw this scene, his expression changed drastically as the dragon might crushed towards him. Golden Bear roared crazily as he tried to defend himself. His expression turned malevolent as he took out the universe AI and sent out a message. Consuming a large amount of eternal pregnancy fruit can allow top-notch experts and mad demons to break through the shackles and reach the universe sovereign realm. His body started to crumble, but he still sent out this message before he died. Consuming a large amount of eternal pregnancy fruit can allow top-notch experts and mad demons to break through. The main reason he sent out this message was to create trouble for the Dragon King. In fact, they even hoped that there would be experts with the strength to kill the Dragon King, even though he knew that the chances of that happening were slim. But this was the only thing he could do before he died. He wasn't willing to die just like that. He wanted to create huge trouble for the Dragon King. Once he sent out this message, he knew that many mad demons and old monsters in the Invincible domain wouldn't be able to sit still. They would definitely think of ways to obtain a large amount of eternal pregnancy fruit. This was an overt plot. However, his message wasn't fake. If the mad demons obtained enough eternal pregnancy fruit, they would have 100% chance of breaking through. As for the top-notch experts in the Invincible domain, if they obtained enough eternal pregnancy fruit, they would also have a chance of breaking through. Bam! After he sent out the message, he fell to the ground with no signs of life left. This time, he was completely dead. Hee. Wang Xian noticed Golden Bear's little action, but he didn't stop him. His gaze swept forward with a fervent look in his eyes. Chapter 3670. Treasures, a huge amount of treasures. Wang Xian stared at the treasures in the hall with a fiery look in his eyes. To Wang Xian, all of these treasures were a huge amount of resources. Some of the elixir pills, divine fruits, and herbs could strengthen his dragon energy after he consumed them. Swish! With a flick of his palm, he kept all the treasures. He moved and started to check the treasures in Jin Xian's kingdom. From Jin Xian's kingdom, Wang Xian obtained many precious treasures. Just the number of divine trees and herbs planted in Jin Xian's kingdom numbered in the tens of thousands. Moreover, each of them was of a very high level. The strength of an existence at the crazed demon level was far beyond a first-order universe lord. His entire life's collection was a huge number. After searching in Jin Xian's kingdom, he immediately went to the other kingdoms next to it. From these kingdoms, Wang Xian also found a large number of divine trees and herbs. In fact, some of the divine trees had reached the universe lord realm, but they had yet to bear fruit. Many experts in the circle of devil breakers were experts from the top races. They had all kinds of collections and items, including many precious treasures. It took Wang Xian more than 2 hours to finish touring all the heavenly nations. He kept all the elixir pills, divine fruits, and other resources that could be of use to him. The rest were all sent to the Dragon Palace. This time, the devouring dragon had improved a lot. Dragon King, before Jin Xian died, he sent out a message that caused quite a stir in the Invincible domain. You might have to be more careful from now on. When Wang Xian was done with all the kingdoms, Wu Shou flew over and reported to him.
Oh,
Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and immediately took out the universe AI. He had seen Jin Xian's little tricks before his death. He opened the universe AI and did a search. Soon, he squinted his eyes and smirked. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile when he saw the message. It said that consuming large amounts of eternal pregnancy fruit can help crazed demon break through. That's true. Wang Xian said with a smile. Crazed demon Jin Xian's actions were very obvious. He wanted the experts of the Invincible domain to kill Wang Xian and snatch his treasures. However, Wang Xian wasn't nervous at all. On the contrary, he was happy to see this happen. It would be difficult for Mad Demon to team up. Without Mad Demon's help, he and Wu Shuo had nothing to fear. On the contrary, as long as there were experts who dared to target him, Wang Xian would definitely let them know what despair was. I'll cultivate for a while. Wu Shuo, go and find Water Demon. See if you can find him. Inform me as soon as you find him. Wang Xian looked at Wu Shuo and instructed her. This time, there was another water demon that came to kill him. An existence at the level of a mad demon. As for Water Demon, Wang Xian was prepared to find him and destroy him. Since an old monster had attacked him, he would retaliate fiercely. It's Dragon King. Wu Shuo nodded and left immediately after learning how to enter and exit the void ancient divine kingdom. Wang Xian did not leave immediately. He took out the resources he had obtained this time and began devouring them immediately, converting them into dragon energy. The harvest this time was too great. He guessed that it would increase his strength by at least 70 to 80%. As a result, he was only left with 20% to 30% dragon energy for the next upgrade. What was going on? Why did Mad Demon Jin Sheng suddenly send out such a message? He actually said that as long as there are enough eternal pregnancy fruits, both Mad Demons and top experts can break through the shackles. Is this real or fake? Why did Mad Demon Golden Blaze suddenly announce this matter? What happened? Is Mad Gold Centipede telling the truth? As Wang Xian began to devour resources and Wu Shuo searched for Water Demon in the Long River, the news of Mad Demon Jin Sheng spread like wildfire in the Invincible domain. Recently, the Invincible domain had become much more lively because of the Dragon King's arrival. Now that a Mad Demon suddenly released such a message, many old monsters were shocked. Mad Demon Jin Sheng's words were still trustworthy. After all, he was a famous existence in the entire Invincible domain. The Mad Demon among the old monsters, the strongest force in the Invincible domain, and the strongest expert in the circle of demon breakers. No matter which identity he had, it could prove the authenticity of Mad Demon Jin Sheng's message. In particular, many old monsters in the Invincible domain had consumed the eternal pregnancy fruit. It was indeed extremely beneficial. This also made them believe that Mad Demon Jin Sheng's message was not fabricated out of thin air. A message that could allow experts to break through really shocked the Invincible domain. The ultimate goal of every old monster in the Invincible domain was to break through and become the universe dominator. Now that there was such a sudden opportunity, no expert was willing to give it up. Especially for the top experts in the Invincible domain and the few Mad Demons. Mad Demons and top experts can break through by consuming large amounts of eternal pregnancy fruit. How many eternal pregnancy fruits do they need? Moreover, the price of the divine fruit is too high. It's a rip-off. The Dragon King should still have a lot of eternal pregnancy fruits. He said that if you want to buy them, you can contact him through the universe AI. It's too expensive, too expensive. If we want more than 100 of them, doesn't that mean that we have to use innate cardinal treasures to trade with him? Not all of the Mad Demons have innate cardinal treasures. Some of the old monsters were tempted and burning with passion. This was the only way for them to break through the shackles in more than 10 billion years. But when they thought of the price of the eternal pregnancy fruit, they felt terrible. The price was too high. Within 100, the top old monsters in the Invincible domain could exchange for it. But if they needed more than 100, they didn't have that many resources. Why did Mad Demon Jin Sheng suddenly announce this news? Does he have a feud with the Dragon King? No matter what, let's add fuel to the fire and ignite it in the Invincible domain. That's right. Now we can basically lock onto the position of the Dragon King. If a large number of experts are tempted and powerful mad demons attack the Dragon King at the same time, the Dragon King might be killed without us doing anything. Pay attention to the news of the Dragon King at all times. Now that the Dragon King is in high demand, there will definitely be a large number of experts eyeing him. If the Dragon King is killed by other mad demons, we have to get his corpse or flesh to hand over to the third prince. I think it's best if the Dragon King is severely injured. We can suppress him and get those eternal pregnancy fruits. At the same time, somewhere in the depths of the Invincible domain, a dozen angels were discussing. In front of them, there was a strange demonic beast with a long nose and huge eyes. They had been tracking Wang Xian's movements. Chapter 3671. In the Invincible domain, because of Mad Golden Ape's message, countless old monsters were riled up. As time passed, news after news spread rapidly in the Invincible domain. Some old monsters confirmed on the AI that as long as they consumed large amounts of eternal pregnancy fruit, they could indeed allow powerful old monsters to directly break through the shackles of their realm. Some old monsters also said that the Dragon Palace had eternal pregnancy fruit god trees, and that the Dragon King had large amounts of eternal pregnancy fruit. In short, all sorts of news spread rapidly, reaching the ears of almost every old monster in the Invincible domain. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the dark void of the Invincible domain, an incomparably huge void beast skeleton floated in the void. From within this huge skeleton came the sounds of battle. Streaks of horrifying black energy constantly surged towards the surroundings. One could vaguely see dozens of black shadows fighting inside. Suddenly, very strangely, all the shadows suddenly stopped. They suddenly stopped fighting. Their figures flashed, and they arrived at the head of the void beast skeleton. There stood an expert of the Netherworld race. One by one, the black shadows entered his body. These shadows were dark ghosts' avatars. A total of 50 to 60 shadows entered his body, but these shadows were only a fifth of him. Consume the eternal pregnancy fruit, hope of breaking through. He muttered to himself, his blood-red eyes twitching non-stop. This is my only hope, Dragon Palace's Dragon King, 1 eternal pregnancy fruit for 5 Xiantian treasures, it's really expensive. The expert of the Nether race growled. But I have to grab this chance, even if I die. He continued speaking, taking out the AI. He was called Dark Killer, an old monster in the Invincible domain, a terrifying existence. He had hundreds of dark ghost avatars, and when they exploded out at the same time, it was terrifying. Facing him was equivalent to facing hundreds of experts of the same level. How to fight? Consume the eternal pregnancy fruit. Looks like I have to switch. In another part of the Invincible domain, this part of the void was filled with violent and terrifying energy. The spatial storm from the spatial tear swept out in all directions. The terrifying spatial storm could even tear apart an ordinary third-order sovereign realm expert. In this void fissure storm, a large demon bird spread its wings and spoke. His wings slightly flapped and he also took out the universe AI. His name was Yarrow Yui, an ordinary name, but he was a mad demon. Is there really hope for a breakthrough? Really? Amidst the turbulent flow of meteors in the Invincible domain, an earthen yellow stone man lying in the center of a meteor opened his eyes with an excited expression. He slowly stood up. The meteor that looked like a tombstone directly collapsed, and he quietly floated in the turbulence. The huge meteorite collided with his body and directly collapsed. His name was Shisen, the mad demon of the Invincible domain. Apart from these 3 places, the old monsters in other places were also extremely excited when they saw the information in their hand. In the Invincible realm, some of the mad devils were in a state of madness, but there were also some who used special methods to suppress themselves in order to prevent themselves from being in a state of madness. But after hearing this news, none of the crazy demons could sit still. Not only the crazy demons, but some of the top experts of the Invincible realm also could not sit still. Even if there was only a 1% chance of breaking through, they would fight for it. Therefore, the crazed demons of the Invincible domain, the top experts, began to move. Phew. In the Hongshu ancient Holy Kingdom, Wang Xian opened his eyes and looked at the depleted resources in front of him with a smile on his face. A month had passed, and he had absorbed all the resources from the circle of the evil breakers and the holy kingdom of over 150 expert. With these resources, he was still about 30% away from advancing. If I can get a few more resources from the crazy demons, I will almost be able to advance. Wang Xian calculated in his heart. The strength of the crazy demons was much stronger than the real experts of the Universe Lord realm. If he could break through, he would have the strength of a second-order Universe Lord realm expert. At that time, he would be even more terrifying. Even if the group of crazy demons from the Invincible realm joined forces, Wang Xian could still annihilate them. There's quite a lot of information on the Universe AI. At this time, Wang Xian noticed the information on his Universe AI, and immediately opened it. When he saw the content, his eyes lit up. Many old monsters contacted him, wanting to trade for the eternal pregnancy fruit. In fact, Wang Xian even received a message, wanting to exchange inborn cardinal treasures with him for the eternal pregnancy fruit. His eyes were burning with passion. Many people contacted him, about 50 to 60 of them. Moreover, the number of people who wanted to trade was higher. There were at least a dozen, and at most dozens. Wang Xian did not reply immediately. He opened the Universe AI to check the situation. All the messages were about the consumption of the eternal pregnancy fruit and him. The message from the crazy demon Golden Leo before his death had shaken the entire Invincible realm. Things were crazier than Wang Xian had imagined. The importance of the eternal pregnancy fruit was greater than he had imagined. Swoosh. At this moment, Wu Shou's figure entered. Dragon King, I found the location of the water demon. Wu Shou reported to Wang Xian immediately. Oh, did you find it? Wang Xian raised an eyebrow. The water demon is in the river not far from us. It will only take 10 minutes to get there. Wu Shou nodded. Let's go. Let's eliminate the water demon first before dealing with other matters. His body moved and he immediately flew out. The water demon had participated in the attack on him, and that made him an enemy. Wang Xian had to eliminate him. After eliminating the water demon, not only could he harvest the corpse of the expert, but he could also obtain a lot of resources. Currently, he was not far away from another breakthrough. It's the Dragon King. Wu Shou moved and followed closely behind. In that direction. It's very close. The two flew out of the Hongshu ancient holy kingdom. Wu Shou pointed in a direction. Wang Xian wrapped his energy around him and increased his speed. Soon, he arrived above the river. In less than 10 minutes, he stopped in the void and Wu Shou pointed in front. The water demon is over there. Dragon King, if we get any closer, we will be discovered. Wu Shou reminded. Let's do it. You set up an array behind us to prevent him from escaping, Wang Xian said. He moved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. The unbeginning saint wings flapped and he flew towards the river rapidly. As he approached, Wang Xian immediately felt the terrifying energy contained in the river. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. 4 nether ghost avatars flew out from Wang Xian's body and sealed off 4 directions. Chapter 3672, Water Demon, get out here. Wang Xian bellowed. The 5 elements grindstone smashed towards the river below. The terrifying energy caused the river water to surge in all directions. However, in the middle, there was a pool of river water that did not move at all. What? That Dragon King actually found my location? My body has merged with the river and it's hard to find me. How did he lock onto me? Could it be that maniac Jin Shou told him? No, it can't be him. Sorcerer, it's a sorcerer. Only a powerful sorcerer can lock onto me. Could the sorcerer beside the Dragon King be comparable to me? A voice came from the pool of river water. Gradually, the entire river water condensed into a huge face. The face stared at Wang Xian in the sky with a changing expression. Water Demon's body was currently trying to merge with the entire river. During this period, his main body could not leave this place. Once he did, all his efforts would be in vain. The thousands of years of cultivation and merging would be a complete failure. He had to start all over again. Therefore, he did not change his location after his previous failed attempt to ambush the Dragon King. Because of the merging with the river, His concealment ability was extremely strong. Moreover, the river was constantly flowing. His body was flowing along with the water. However, the speed of the flow was a little slow. The river was so vast, and the invincible domain was so vast. The chances of finding him were extremely slim, unless it was a sorcerer who was on par with him and could sense his aura. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible to lock onto him. Water demon, isn't it easy to find you? In the sky, Wu Shuo was behind Wang Xian. She stared at him calmly. I took a month to find you. Your concealment ability is really strong. It's a pity that you met me. You're the old witch. You're the old witch. Weren't you killed by the Dragon King? You submitted to him? You were the one who ambushed us with the array. How dare you submit to the Dragon King? When Water Demon saw the figure of the old witch, his face was filled with shock. This was the old witch, the #1 sorcerer in the Invincible domain. She was not killed by the Dragon King, but submitted to him. The Dragon King helped me regain my sanity and found a way to break through. Why wouldn't I submit? The old witch said indifferently. However, there was one thing she didn't say, and that was, if he didn't submit, he would die. But now, she was completely convinced. She had already seen the way to break through the shackles and the path of cultivation. You found a way to break through? Water Demon's face was filled with shock. His huge face flew out of the river and stared at the old witch. Hehe, this has nothing to do with you. You're going to die. The old witch said indifferently. Water Demon, you are going to die. Wang Xian stared at him calmly and said plainly. In the next moment, the 5 divine dragons on the 5 elements grindstone pulled the huge grindstone and attacked Water Demon. I'm not their match. Given the Dragon King's speed, it will be difficult for me to escape. Also, is what the old witch said true? What Mad Demon Golden Leo said is also true. Eating the eternal embryo fruit can really help Mad Demon break through. When Water Demon saw the 5 elements grindstone attacking him, his expression changed drastically. He was clear about the strength of Mad Demon Golden Leo. Not long ago, Mad Demon Golden Leo had died in front of him. He was clear about the strength of the Dragon King and the old witch, especially the Dragon King, who was extremely terrifying. He wasn't their match at all. Am I finished? Dragon King, don't kill me. I'm willing to submit. I'm willing to fight for you. Don't kill me. Water Demon thought for a while and made a decision instantly. He shouted at Wang Xian. Huh! When Wang Xian heard him, he was taken aback. They hadn't even fought, and this crazy demon was already going to surrender. This was completely beyond his expectations. With a thought, he stopped the attack of the 5 elements grindstone. Swoosh! Water Demon's expression changed and condensed into the appearance of a waterman. The waterman was over 10,000 meters in size. He looked at Wang Xian and went down on one knee. Water Demon is willing to submit to the Dragon King and fight for him. Please don't kill me, Dragon King, Water Demon said respectfully. This was his only way out. At the same time, it was also his best option. Given his strength, the chances of him escaping from the hands of the Dragon King and the old witch were less than 1%. Although he had a life-saving treasure, the old witch was a powerful sorcerer and could track him down. Secondly, what the old witch said just now shouldn't be false. The information about the Golden Blaze Maniac shouldn't be false. The eternal pregnancy fruit in the hands of the Dragon King could help the Mad Demons achieve a breakthrough. This point was a fatal temptation to him. Under such circumstances, he knew how to make the right choice. So what if he became the subordinate of the Dragon King? At least he had a chance to achieve a breakthrough. He could live. Aren't you going to give it a try? But this is the right choice for you. Wang Xian made a move and flew directly towards him. Swish, swish, swish. The 4 doppelgangers of the Nether Ghost immediately surrounded him. The 5 elements grindstone was also suspended above Water Demon. Once he made any reckless moves, he would be killed instantly. Wang Xian flew in front of him. With a wave of his palm, a drop of pure divine dragon blood floated in front of him. Devour it and don't resist. Also, summon your universe god nation over. I'll suppress it in the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian ordered him. Yes, Dragon King. Water Demon did as he was told without any resistance. A minute later, Water Demon summoned his universe god nation and placed it in the Dragon Palace. This also meant that Water Demon was completely suppressed by Wang Xian, just like the old witch. Wang Xian wouldn't reject the submission of an expert of such a level. These are 200 eternal pregnancy fruits. Wu Sha has completely stabilized her mental state after devouring 200 of them. Soon, she will be able to break through the shackles and achieve a breakthrough. You shouldn't have any problems either. After everything was settled, Wang Xian took out 200 eternal pregnancy fruits and handed them to the Water Demon. Thank you, Dragon King. Thank you, Dragon King. When Water Demon saw that he had obtained 200 eternal pregnancy fruits so easily, his body trembled violently and he bowed with excitement. He thought that the Dragon King would reward him with eternal pregnancy fruits based on his performance in the future. Now that he had obtained them so easily, he felt grateful. Go ahead and consume them. In addition, give me all the useless treasures and resources like the divine tree and divine grass. Wang Xian instructed him. Yes, everything of Water Demon belongs to you, Dragon King. Water Demon answered immediately. He. Wang Xian smiled faintly. He had not expected to subdue Water Demon so easily. One had to know that Water Demon was the crazy demon of the Invincible domain. After consuming the eternal pregnancy fruits, he would advance to the Dominator realm in the future. The Dragon Palace would also have one more Dominator. Chapter 3673. Why don't I subdue some old crazy demons? Wang Xian looked at Water Demon, who was swallowing the eternal pregnancy fruit quickly, and his eyes lit up. Old witch Water Demon, as long as there were enough eternal pregnancy fruits, she would definitely break through. As for the birth of a Dominator rank expert, the chances of that happening were extremely small. Subduing them would mean having a sovereign level expert, which would be of great benefit to the Dragon Palace. Most importantly, after they broke through, they could not be judged by the standards of ordinary First-Order Universe sovereigns. Their combat power was far beyond that of a First-Order Universe sovereign. Wang Xian took out the Universe AI and looked at the private messages on it. His eyes lit up. There were experts who were willing to exchange inborn cardinal treasures for eternal pregnancy fruits, and many old monsters who wanted to buy a dozen of them. Wang Xian was not sure if these were real buyers, but since they wanted to buy, he would naturally sell. Now, the resources he needed to break through were not much. It was not difficult for Wang Xian to get his hands on these resources. He still had quite a number of eternal pregnancy fruits. Another 200 to 300 eternal pregnancy fruits should be enough for him to break through. Let's go to the Hongshu ancient celestial nation first. Wang Xian said to Water Demon Sorceress as he flew towards the Hongshu ancient celestial nation. When he arrived at the Hongshu ancient celestial nation, he opened the Universe AI and looked through it one by one. The Universe AI would have a name, and a portion of the strong would use their own life on the Universe AI. Of course, there were many who used fake names. However, some of the crazy old demons in the Invincible region used their real names on the AI. For example, Ming Shusheng, Demon Feather, and Shisen. They did not hide or change the names on the Universe AI. Wang Xian looked through his private messages and found the names one by one. Ming Shusheng, Demon Feather, Shisen, Thunder Flash, Sky Shrouding. These names, in the Invincible domain, were all existences that resounded like thunder. They were all powerful and terrifying crazy demons. These 5 crazy demons had all sent messages to Wang Xian, wanting to buy the eternal pregnancy fruits from him. As for whether they really wanted to trade goods or directly snatch it was hard to say. But Wang Xian could call them over to have a look. Ming Sha Shang, Yarrow Yu Yi, call the 2 of them over first. Wang Xian planned in his heart as he replied to them. First, trade with them. As for why he chose to trade with them first, he had his own reasons. After the message was sent, he received a reply very quickly. Of the 2 crazy old devils, Ming Sha Shang would arrive in 5 days, while Yarrow Yu Yi would arrive in 3 days. Wang Xian arranged for them to conduct the transaction at the Hongshu Ancient Divine Kingdom 5 days later. I hope they won't disappoint me. As Wang Xian spoke, he waited patiently. In the Invincible domain, the old monsters were still discussing about the eternal pregnancy fruit. However, they now encountered a problem. They did not know where the Dragon King was, and they could not contact him through the universe AI. This caused many experts to feel slightly anxious, but there was nothing he could do. After receiving Wang Xian's reply, Ming Shisheng and Demon Wings naturally wouldn't spread the news. They quickly flew towards the Hengshu ancient divine kingdom. Crash. After 3 days, Yarou Yi, who had a huge pair of wings, flew over. He scanned the surroundings. The Hengshu ancient divine kingdom is the lair of the Devil Destroyer Circle. Now, I don't see any experts from the Devil Destroyer Circle. What happened? Why would Maniac Jin Shou announce that news? Why? Is it a conspiracy of the Dragon King, or? Yarou Yi looked around with vigilance in his eyes. He did not approach the Hengshu ancient divine kingdom, but waited quietly from afar. Wong wong wong. 2 days flashed again, and a dark ray of light shot towards them. Huh! Yarou Yi looked at the dark ray of light. Terrifying demonic aura surged from his body as he stared at it with his sharp eyes. Yarou Yi, it's you. Have you received the message from the Dragon King too? Ming Shisheng stopped in the void as he stared at Yarou Yi. That's right. Have you received it too? Seems like the Dragon King has the intention to call the two of us over to conduct a transaction, Yarou Yi said plainly. Ming Shisheng looked at him before sweeping his gaze across the surroundings. Wang. At this time, they saw a figure flying out from the Hengshu ancient divine kingdom. His eyes were beaming. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. Yarou Yi stared at that figure and shouted. He, since the two of you are here, it's only natural for me to show up to conduct a transaction. Wang Xian looked at them and flew towards them with a smile. I wonder how many eternal pregnancy fruits the Dragon King has. I want to trade with inborn cardinal treasures. Yarou Yi stared at Wang Xian and asked directly. I have a lot of eternal pregnancy fruits with me, which should be enough for you to stabilize your mental states and make breakthroughs. If you want to stabilize your mental states and make breakthroughs, you will need about 200 eternal pregnancy fruits. The price remains the same as before, but I have another way to trade. Wang Xian looked at them and said with a smile. The Hengshu ancient divine kingdom is the lair of the devil breakers and the base of Jin Shou. Why haven't I seen any traces of them? Ming Shisheng suddenly asked an irrelevant question as he stared at Wang Xian with his blood-red eyes. Maniac Jin Shou and his devil breakers tried to ambush me, but I've annihilated them. Wang Xian replied plainly. Ming Shisheng was stunned by his word. What's the second way? Can we really make breakthroughs with 200 eternal pregnancy fruits? Yarou Yi wasn't bothered by the situation of Maniac Jin Shou. He stared at Wang Xian and asked with rapid breathing. The possibility of a breakthrough is 95%. Wang Xian said plainly, the second way is for you to join the Dragon Palace with me as your leader. I'll give you 200 eternal pregnancy fruits for free immediately. I can also guarantee that it won't take long for you to make breakthroughs. Join the Dragon Palace with you as my leader? Yarou Yi stared at Wang Xian with a slight change in his expression. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. If the two of you agree, I can give you the eternal pregnancy fruits first. All right. If eternal pregnancy fruits can really help me make breakthroughs, I'm willing to join the Dragon Palace with you as my leader. Ming Shisheng's expression changed slightly as he spoke to Wang Xian. Sure, join the Dragon Palace and I won't mistreat the two of you. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved his arm and 400 eternal pregnancy fruits flew towards them. Yarou Yi was taken aback when he saw the eternal pregnancy fruits flying towards him. He hadn't agreed and the Dragon King had given him 200 eternal pregnancy fruits. This is Chapter 3674. Before Demonic Feather could agree, he had already received 200 eternal pregnancy fruit. Ming Shisheng was slightly taken aback by how straightforward Wang Xian was. This time, he didn't want to make a deal. The value of a few hundred eternal pregnancy fruits was comparable to a carnate cardinal treasure. But he didn't have a carnate cardinal treasure. With the resources he had on hand, he wouldn't be able to exchange for a large number of eternal pregnancy fruits. This time, He was prepared to directly snatch it. He had blind confidence in his own strength. Although he was no match for the Dragon King, it would not be a problem for him to fish in troubled waters. He believed that there would be many old monsters like him. When the time came, he would have to rely on his own strength and luck. But who would have thought that with just a few words, the other party would give him the eternal pregnancy fruit? He didn't even swear an oath. Ming Sha Sheng sized up the eternal pregnancy fruit in front of him and checked it. There were no problems. He opened his mouth and crushed the eternal womb fruit in his hand, turning it into streams of energy that entered his body. After absorbing more than 100 eternal pregnancy fruits, he could feel that his state of madness had disappeared. Although it wouldn't completely disappear, there wouldn't be any problems for at least tens of millions of years. Even if he were to fight with his full strength, he could still last for a very long time. He felt that his mind was now clear, and the blurry path of cultivation was much more refreshing. Perhaps, after he absorbed all the eternal embryo fruits, he might really be able to break through. Ming Shisheng's breathing was slightly hurried. At the side, Demon Feather had also absorbed over 100 eternal pregnancy fruits. His eyes were filled with excitement. What Madman Golden Blaze said was true. With the help of the eternal pregnancy fruit, they could break through. Phew, Dragon King, can you lower the price of the eternal pregnancy fruit? Fiendish Wings asked Wang Xian as his eyes sparkled. The price will not change. Wang Xian shook his head. Ha ha ha, price? This eternal pregnancy fruit is already in my hands, so why would you still care about the price? Ha ha ha, thank you for the eternal pregnancy fruit, Dragon King. Let's meet again if fate wills it. Meanwhile, Ming Sha Sheng suddenly roared madly with excitement, and then his figure flashed and immediately fled towards the distance. From the moment he spoke to the moment he left, he did not pause at all. Hihi, not paying any price? You're courting death. Wang Xian wasn't surprised to see Ming Shusheng trying to escape. He chuckled, flapped his unbeginning saint wings and chased after Ming Shusheng rapidly. His speed was far from what Ming Shisheng could compare to. Do you want to exchange with primordial cardinal treasures, or? When Demonic Feather saw Wang Xian chasing after Ming Shosheng, his expression changed. The Dragon King's behavior was a little strange. He did not complete the transaction, but directly gave the eternal pregnancy fruit to them. This was very strange. He felt that there was a conspiracy. The Dragon King was too bold. Go. Yarrow Yui's eyes flashed with sharpness. The Dragon King was very bold, but so were they. Since they could obtain 200 everlasting pregnancy fruits without paying any price, they would naturally accept it without hesitation. As for the Dragon King's revenge, was he afraid of it? If he could really break through, he would be able to kill the Dragon King if he dared to seek revenge. Crash! Demon Wings flapped its wings and instantly flew in the opposite direction of Wang Xian and the rest. Su su su. Demon Wings, you have also violated the rules. Surrender or die. Just as he flapped his wings, Wu Sha and Water Demon flew out of the Hongshu Ancient Holy Kingdom at a terrifying speed. They fixed their eyes on Demon Wings. At the same time, 4 doppelgangers of Nether Ghost appeared and surrounded him. Heh! What? Old witch! Water Demon! When Demon Wings saw Wu Sha and Water Demon, his expression changed drastically. He stared at them and asked, You have surrendered to the Dragon King? Yes, what's wrong with surrendering to the Dragon King? It won't be long before we can break through. Hee hee. Water Demon stared at Demon Wings and said with a faint smile, What does the Dragon King mean by this? He generously gave us the everlasting pregnancy fruit first. What is he going to do now? Demon Wings stared at them and asked with a gloomy expression, What is he going to do? To make you surrender, of course. You want to take away the everlasting pregnancy fruit without any transaction. Naturally, you have to pay the price. Wu Sha said plainly with a smile on her face. Hehe, this Dragon King is really principled. He actually wants to make us surrender in this way. Yarrow Yui sneered and stared at them coldly as he mocked them. Our Dragon King is very principled. If you want to make a normal transaction, then so be it. But it's a pity that you don't. So, you will be suppressed and killed. Water Demon stared at Demon Wings as the water around him began to spread. HMPH, old witch, Water Demon, do you think you can keep me here with just the two of you? Wishful thinking. I will never submit to that Dragon King, and the eternal pregnancy fruit belongs to me too. Demon Wings' huge wings began to flap, and a terrifying hurricane gathered around him. You have no choice now. If you don't surrender, then die. Our Dragon King said that this is the original sin of greed. As Wu Sha spoke, she began to wave the magic wand in her hand. Magic arrays began to form rapidly. Rumble, rumble, rumble. At this time, the 4 doppelgangers of Nether Ghost suddenly released a terrifying aura. 4 beams of dark light shot up to the sky and completely enveloped Demon Wings in darkness. The doppelgangers of Nether Ghost are so powerful. How can they be so strong? Could it be that the Dragon King has subdued other crazy demons of the Nether Clan? No, among the crazy demons of the Nether Clan, only Ming Shosheng has such a powerful aura. When Demon Wings saw the terrifying strength of the 4 doppelgangers of Nether Ghost, he narrowed his eyes and was shocked. Water Demon, Old Witch, and these 4 doppelgangers of Nether Ghost could easily kill him. Damn it, this Dragon King is really shameless. If he wants to subdue us, he can just make a move. And he even resorted to such petty tricks. Demon Wings looked a little embarrassed. This was the first time he had seen such a principled guy. Yes, Wang Xian was very principled. He did not like to force others to surrender. If others did not provoke him, he would not kill them for no reason. Therefore, Wang Xian was prepared to use this method. If the 2 crazy demons, Demon Wings and Ming Shosheng, had a good deal, everything would go according to the rules. Alright, the deal is done, and you can leave. But if they were greedy, Wang Xian would suppress them with a peace of mind. Either surrender or die. Clearly, none of the crazy demons of the Invincible domain were kind. Damn it, how can the Dragon King's speed be so terrifying? How can he be so strong? At the same time, Ming Shosheng, who was the first to escape, growled in a low voice. Hihi, Ming Shosheng, you have lost your chance to choose. Either surrender or die. Wang Xian stared at Ming Shosheng and said with a smile. This time, he should be able to reap a good harvest. Chapter 3675, You want me to submit? Dream on. If it was before, I might not be your match. But now that I've consumed the eternal pregnancy fruit, I can maintain my state of mind. Don't even think about suppressing me. Dragon King, you're too arrogant. Ming Shosheng watched as Wang Xian chased after him. Sensing Wang Xian's terrifying speed, his face turned ugly. However, Ming Shosheng was confident at this moment. Roar, roar. 100 ghosts, run. In the next instant, his body split into over 200 dark ghost doppelgangers. Each doppelganger flew in a different direction. Hihi, Ming Shosheng, I said you can't escape, so you can't. Wang Xian was shocked to see that he had more than 200 nether ghost doppelgangers. He sneered and flapped his unbeginning sacred wings. Countless thunderbolts and hurricanes engulfed over 200 dark ghost doppelgangers. No one can catch me if I want to escape. Dark Ghost let out a low growl. Dark force surged from over 200 dark ghost doppelgangers to resist Wang Xian's attack. Swoosh. But at this time, Wang Xian focused his eyes and locked on to Dark Ghost's real body. He instantly appeared above his head. Ming Shosheng's strength came from his joint attack with Dark Ghost doppelgangers. Now that they were escaping separately, his real body was very, very weak. Wang Xian could easily kill him in an instant. Boom. The dragon claw swept past, filled with the power of annihilation, and directly swept across his body. However, his dragon claws instantly passed through Ming Shosheng's body, leaving a trail of black flames in the void. His real body had disappeared. You've transformed with your doppelgangers? Then I'd like to see how many times you can use this life-saving technique of yours. Wang Xian snorted. Ming Shosheng's move was very powerful. He could even transfer his real body to his doppelgangers. It was a powerful life-saving technique. However, in the next instant, Wang Xian flapped his unbeginning sacred wings, locked on to one of Dark Ghost's doppelgangers, and attacked him. Ming Sha Sheng's doppelgangers were only slightly faster than ordinary third-order universe sovereigns. But Wang Xian's speed was 10 times faster. Under such terrifying speed, unless he was given enough time, he wouldn't be able to escape in a short period of time. How is this possible? How can you tell the location of my main body? When Ming Shusheng saw Wang Xian attacking his main body again, his expression changed drastically. He could switch between dark ghost clones, but this was not an unlimited number of times. Moreover, the distance between the main body and the doppelganger was not limitless. Although this separation was enough to reach a great distance, there was still a limit. Once he was locked onto by the Dragon King at all times, it would be difficult for him to escape given the Dragon King's speed. I refuse to believe that you can lock onto me forever. Ming Sha Sheng gritted his teeth. More than 200 clones fled in all directions at the fastest speed. Bam! Wang Xian came to his original body and swept his dragon claws again, but this time, Ming Sha Sheng's body still disappeared instantly. This ability was somewhat similar to teleportation. His avatar was the medium for teleportation. Wang Xian snorted. Through the unbeginning sacred wings, he locked onto another doppelganger of Netherghost and attacked him. There are still 8 more chances. The possibility of me escaping is still high. Ming Sha Sheng thought to himself when he saw Wang Xian locking onto his main body again. He was calculating the distance between each doppelganger of Nether Ghosts. Swish. At this time, his body was locked onto and a chain was sweeping towards him. Ming Sha Sheng did not hesitate. Once again, he converted his energy and the doppelganger dissipated. Wang Xian waved his palm and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. He flew towards the dozens of doppelganger. He moved his body and flew towards Ming Sha Sheng's main body again. I've been locked onto again. How far is he from me? Damn it. That treasure in his hand is so terrifying. I can't teleport in that direction. I have to retrieve my doppelganger. Ming Sha Sheng's expression was extremely ugly. He could feel the terrifying energy and pressure from the 5 elements grindstone. This was not something that dozens of doppelganger of Nether Ghost could withstand. In order to prevent his doppelganger from being killed, he had to retrieve it. Once he retrieved it, he would have one less direction to escape to. Swish. Ming Sha Sheng, I've said it before. You can't escape unless you can teleport your main body endlessly. Wang Xian caught up with his main body again and said plainly, damn it. Ming Sha Sheng's face was dark. He could only teleport again, but soon, Wang Xian locked onto him again and he teleported again. I don't think I can lock onto my main body. The distance between my 2 doppelganger is already at its limit. Even if I were to fly by myself, it would take me 2 minutes. Ming Sha Sheng roared with bloodshot eyes during the last teleportation. This time, the distance between the teleportation and the original location of the body was 2 minutes apart. He would need to fly at his fastest speed during these 2 minutes. If he could still be locked onto at this time, he would be doomed. This Dragon King is simply too insane. Be it speed or treasures, it's no wonder the old witch and water demon would submit to him. He's too strong, he thought to himself as he flew with all his might. Can you still teleport? However, a terrifying voice sounded behind him after a dozen seconds. This caused his body to tremble violently and the power of darkness in his body shook. I'm doomed. Dragon King, I surrender. I surrender. Ming Sha Sheng roared as he broke down. His teleportation ability had reached its limit and he couldn't teleport anymore. If he were to be killed by the Dragon King, he would really be dead. He had already found a way to break through and it wouldn't take long for him to do so. Asking him to die at this time? How could he be willing to do so? He had waited for billions of years to break through to the sovereign realm. Asking him to die now? It was better to surrender. Hehe, what were you doing earlier? Wang Xian smiled faintly. With a wave of his palm, a drop of blood essence landed in front of him. Consume it. Summon the Cosmos God Nation over. Wang Xian ordered him. Yes, Dragon King. I'm completely convinced by you and have decided to respect you as my king in the future, Ming Sha Sheng said helplessly. So be it. Fortunately, I can break through now. Ming Shosheng's surrender made Wang Xian reveal a smile. Let's go. Follow me back. There's still an old lunatic there. Wang Xian said faintly as he brought Ming Shosheng and flew towards the Hengshu Ancient Celestial Nation. When he arrived at the Hengshu Ancient Celestial Nation, Demon Wings was constantly fending off the attacks from the Old Witch and Wang Xian's 4 doppelgangers. However, he was completely suppressed. It was only a matter of time before he was killed. Chapter 3676, Nether Ghost Doppelganger. What a powerful Nether Ghost Doppelganger. Is this the Dragon King's Nether Ghost Doppelganger? When Wang Xian arrived with Ming Shosheng, Ming Shosheng looked at the 4 dark ghost avatars besieging Demon Feather Wings in shock. The Nether Ghost avatar was unique to the Nether race. It was also because of Dark Ghost's doppelganger that the Dark race was able to rank among the peak races of the universe. But what shocked him was that the Dragon King also had a Dark Ghost avatar. The Nether race was not the only one who could refine Nether Ghost's avatar. There had been experts of other races who could also refine it. However, the probability of this happening was very small, not even 1 in a million. In addition, only a dark attribute expert could refine it. How could the Dragon King have it? Hee. Wang Xian smiled faintly. He looked at the demonic wings in front of him and said directly, surrender or die. Choose one. Oh no. Demon Wings had been suppressed all this while and didn't have the slightest strength to resist at all. When he saw Wang Xian flying over, his expression changed drastically. When he saw Ming Shosheng standing respectfully by the Dragon King's side, despair filled his heart. Ming Shosheng, you actually submitted to the Dragon King? Yarou Yui stared at Ming Shosheng and said with a bitter expression, I'm willing to offer a carnate cardinal treasure as well as some other treasures as compensation. After he finished his sentence, he looked at Wang Xian and continued speaking with a gloomy face. If he had known this would happen, he would have used the primordial treasure to exchange from the very beginning. This Dragon King is too despicable. Fiend Wing thought indignantly. When he saw Wang Xian looking at him mockingly, his expression changed. I'll give you 5 seconds to consider. Surrender, or die. Wang Xian stared at him and gave him a final warning. Demon Wings, just surrender. You're not a disciple of a peak race. There's nothing wrong with surrendering to the Dragon Palace. Anyway, the Dragon Palace is going to become a peak race in the universe. Ming Shosheng said faintly to him. This caused Yarou Fei's expression to flicker, and he took a deep breath. I submit. He lowered his head slightly and said, it couldn't be helped. If he didn't submit, he would be finished. Surrender. Anyway, among Crazy Old Demon, the Old Witch, Water Demon, and Ming Shosheng had all submitted to him, so it wasn't embarrassing for him to submit. Furthermore, just as Yarou Yui had said, he wasn't an expert from one of the top clans. After he broke through, he might be recruited by other top clans. It's not bad to join Dragon Palace now. If you don't join, you will die. Very good. Wang Xian beamed with excitement. Next, it was time to consume the dragon blood and transfer the God Nation to the Dragon Palace. After subduing the 2 of them, Wang Xian was a little excited. Not only would they obtain all their resources, but they would also gain 2 powerful subordinates. This was simply a huge gain. Next, it's Shisen, Lei Shan, and Zhetian's turn. Tell them to come at once. Having tasted the sweetness, Wang Xian was prepared to do the same. He took out the universe artificial intelligence and sent a message to the 3 crazy old demons. The message was quickly replied. For a treasure that could allow them to break through, the crazy old demons did not hesitate at all. They flew over at their fastest speed, fearing that an accident would happen. After agreeing on a fixed time, Wang Xian began to absorb the resources of Demonic Feather and Ming Shosheng. These crazy old demons had a lot of resources. A single one of them was comparable to the resources of a powerful high-level race. Wang Xian was close to breaking through. Based on his conjecture, he should be able to break through after absorbing their resources and all the resources of 1 or 2 crazy old demons. Rumble, rumble, rumble. While Wang Xian was absorbing the resources, figures flew over from the front of the Hengshu Ancient Celestial Kingdom. A khaki-colored stone man exuded a heavy aura. He looked around and gradually turned into an ordinary stone, floating there. Before long, a dark cloud flew over. There seemed to be something within the dark cloud. When he arrived, a branch stretched out and stared at the stone floating on his right. It was shining brightly. The dark cloud did not approach the stone but waited at the side. The last to arrive was an old monster with a purple body and human form. However, there was a lightning symbol between his brows. He looked around and murmured, "Shisen, Zetian, the two of you are here too. Lei Shan, have you received the message from the Dragon King too?" The khaki-colored stone transformed into a man and asked him. Lei Shan nodded. "Time's up. Time's up." As soon as he finished his sentence, Wang Xian walked out from the inner part of the Hengshu ancient celestial kingdom. "Dragon King, you have a lot of eternal pregnancy fruits." Lei Shan stared at Wang Xian and asked. "That's right. With enough eternal pregnancy fruits, it will be enough for you to break through." Wang Xian nodded his head plainly. With a wave of his palm, 600 eternal pregnancy fruits flew towards them. Shisen and Lightning Flash were slightly taken aback when they saw the Dragon King giving them 200 eternal pregnancy fruits each. He gave it to them just like that. He had not even started the trade. They had not said what they would be using for the trade. "You guys can consume some first and feel the effects." Wang Xian looked at them with a face full of smiles and an amiable look. The three crazy old demons were a little unsure of Wang Xian's confidence. After a detailed check, they consumed some eternal pregnancy fruit. "It works. It really works." Soon, excited voices came from their mouths. The eyes of the three crazy old demons were filled with passion and excitement. "All right, it's fine as long as it works. The price will be the market price. However, you guys have a second option. Join our Dragon Palace and become one of us. Our Dragon Palace hopes to have 3 experts join us." Wang Xian continued with a smiling face. "Join the Dragon Palace? I'm sorry, Dragon King. I'm used to being free. The eternal pregnancy fruits are very useful to me. However, I don't have enough resources now. After I break through, we will return this favor to the Dragon Palace." Upon hearing Wang Xian, Lei Shan's eyes flickered as he spoke. Not joining? What about the two of you?" Wang Xian adjusted his eyebrows, looked at Zetian and Shisen, and asked. "We will remember this favor and return it to you in the future." Shisen stared at the eternal pregnancy fruits in his hand with passion and answered without lifting his head. Zetian did not speak, but it was clear that he meant the same thing. "That won't do. If you don't join, the 3 of you will have to exchange resources." Wang Xian looked at them and shook his head. "Ha ha ha, Dragon King, it's a great opportunity for you and your Dragon Palace to have a favor from us. You have to grasp this opportunity and don't miss it. Let's meet again if fate allows it." Lei Shan laughed and was ready to leave. Zetian and Shisen were also ready to leave. Clearly, they were not going to exchange resources with them. Nonsense. The eternal pregnancy fruits were already in their hands. How could they exchange another inborn cardinal treasure? Was it possible? They were crazy old demons. Chapter 3677. Seeing the 3 of them preparing to escape, Wang Xian smiled and stared at them mockingly. "Do you think you can escape? Wang Wang Wang." As soon as he finished his sentence, the old witch, water demon, Ming Shosheng, and Demon Feather walked out from behind Wang Xian. They looked at Shisen and the other 2 crazy old demons with ridicule in their eyes. "A bunch of fools. Still thinking of escaping? You'd better submit to our Dragon King," Demon Feather said plainly. Not long ago, he was suppressed. Now that he saw 3 old monsters of the same level as him about to be suppressed, he was in a good mood. What? Old witch, you're not dead. And you, water demon, Ming Shosheng, and Demon Feather, are you guys submitting to the Dragon King?" Lei Shan and the rest, who were about to leave, narrowed their eyes when they saw the 4 of them. Their faces were filled with shock. They looked at them in disbelief. The old witch, water demon, Ming Shosheng, and Demon Feather were the crazy old demons of the Invincible domain, the most elite existences. Now, they appeared at the same time and even submitted to the Dragon King. This They were in disbelief. I didn't expect you guys to submit to the Dragon King. Hee. Shrouding sky, which was shrouded in white clouds, extended its branches and stared at them cautiously. Swoosh. As soon as he finished his sentence, Wang Xian flapped the unbeginning saint wings behind him and appeared at their path of retreat. They have submitted. Now, it's your turn. Either submit or die. There's no other choice. Wang Xian stared at them and said plainly. None of the crazy old demons of the Invincible domain were kind. Therefore, he didn't have to worry anymore. Either submit or die. Dragon King, you are looking down on us. Do you think that you can stop the three of us with just the three of you? Lei Shan's expression darkened as he stared at Wang Xian and said. It'll be easy to kill you guys. Wang Xian looked at him and said plainly. Ha ha ha, kill us? Just the five of you? Arrogant. Dragon King, you're too arrogant. Shisen roared, and his body slowly grew bigger. The earthen yellow energy on his body surged out in all directions. Killing the three of you is indeed not difficult. Wu Shuo said slowly as her staff appeared in her hand. Shisen, the lightning flash, I advise you to surrender now so that you won't have to suffer. Lei Shan snorted coldly and immediately transmitted his voice. Zetian, Shisen, attack the Dragon King. Break through. Crackle. As soon as his voice fell, the terrifying power of thunder instantly erupted from his body. At the side, Shisen raised his palm and clenched it tightly. An incomparably huge earthen yellow ball appeared above him. Su. Within the dark clouds, countless branches struck towards Wang Xian. The three of them launched terrifying attacks at Wang Xian at the same time. 5 elements grindstone, activate. Seeing them charging towards him, Wang Xian smiled faintly. With a wave of his palm, the 5 elements grindstone appeared in front of him. His palm landed on it, and the power of the 5 elements surged into it, meeting their attacks head-on. At the same time, 4 dark ghost avatars appeared at his side to meet their attack. Boom. Boom. Terrifying collisions sounded as Shisen, Lei Shan, and Zetian's attacks landed on the 5 elements grindstone and the dark ghost avatars. Energy surged and disappeared rapidly. Wang Xian single-handedly withstood their attacks. This is impossible. This strength, when Lei Shan and the other two saw that the Dragon King alone was able to withstand their attack, their expressions changed once again. You must be tired of living and want us to teach you a lesson. Ming Shoshan growled. Instantly, more than 200 black shadows attacked Shisen and Zetian. Water devil demons' wings also attacked. Wu Shuo immediately started setting up an array at the back. Hee, you won't give up until you see your coffin. Wang Xian moved his palm, and the 5 elements grindstone smashed heavily towards Lei Shan. The terrifying energy carried by the 5 elements grindstone shocked Lei Shan. He quickly dodged to the side. Swoosh. But at this moment, Wang Xian made his move and attacked Lei Shan instantly. So fast, too fast, his speed is too fast. When he saw Wang Xian charging towards him, Lei Shan's expression changed drastically again. Thunderbolt, bloodline eruption. The thunderbolt symbol between his eyebrows shone brightly and enveloped his entire body. Crackle. In an instant, he also burst forth with speed comparable to Wang Xian and dodged to the back. Ha! How can he burst forth with such speed? The eruption of thunder flash left Wang Xian dumbfounded. Let's see how long you can last. Wang Xian locked his eyes on him and attacked him with the power of wind and thunderbolt. This Dragon King's speed is too terrifying. This won't do. I have to escape immediately. I can only last for about 10 minutes. Lei Shan's expression was grave. Like a real thunderbolt, he tapped lightly and flew to the right. Swoosh. Wang Xian flapped his unbeginning saint wings and gave chase immediately. Bind. At the same time, Lingling appeared on his shoulder with the water lotus staff in her hand. She tried to bind Lei Shan. What the hell is this? Lei Shan's expression changed drastically when he saw a wave of energy coming to bind him. The water energy had hindered his speed. It reduced his speed rapidly. Dragon breath of life. Wang Xian opened his mouth and a torrent of energy attacked him. Lei Shan's expression changed drastically as a thunder shield appeared around him. The thunder shield rotated around him as he flew rapidly in an attempt to escape from this place. Dragon claw. Wang Xian focused his eyes and turned his arm into a dragon claw. The light and darkness divine dragon on the Tai Chi dragon plate immediately circled around him and reinforced him. Bam! The powerful force broke through the thunder shield around Lei Shan. This Dragon King is too terrifying. It was just an instant of exchanging blows. Lei Shan realized how terrifying Wang Xian was. His heart skipped a beat. The dragon claw clawed at his body. The powerful force caused his body to tremble violently as he fell uncontrollably. Fart. At the same time, he spat out a large amount of blood. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, the 4 doppelgangers of Nether Ghost came to his surroundings and Wang Xian continued to attack him. It's over. We are not on the same level. Lei Shan's expression changed drastically when he saw Wang Xian charging at him again. He felt that he and the Dragon King were not on the same level at all. He had no way to resist. Total domination. Chapter 3678, Chains of Dragon Eyes. Bam, bam, bam. The chains wrapped around Lei Shan. Wang Xian's dragon claws disappeared and turned into ordinary fists, bombarding Lei Shan continuously. Every attack was imbued with the power of the divine dragon. Ah! A series of blood-curdling screams came out of Lei Shan's mouth. As an old maniac, Lei Shan was naturally strong. However, there was a huge gap between him and Wang Xian. I'll give you 3 seconds to choose. Surrender or die. Wang Xian extended his palm, grabbed Lei Shan's neck, and stared at him calmly. Cough cough, cough cough. I surrender. I surrender. Lei Shan did not hesitate in the slightest as he quickly shouted. He made the same choice as Ming Shosheng and the rest not long ago. Swallow the dragon blood and summon the universe god nation. Wang Xian stared at him and ordered. Lei Shan nodded immediately, staring at Wang Xian with fear. He did as he was told. Wang Xian's strength made him feel hopeless. After dozens of seconds, Lei Shan surrendered completely after the god nation was suppressed by the Dragon Palace. He stood respectfully in front of Wang Xian. He. Wang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. With a swift move, he flew to the side. Wu Shuo, Water Demon, Ming Shosheng and Demon Wings were besieging Shisen and Zetian. In a 2-on-1 situation, they were no match for them. However, they could still hold on for a while. Cough cough, Shisen, Zetian, surrender. The Dragon King is unbeatable. Lei Shan looked at Shisen and the rest, who were fighting against Wu Shuo, and spoke directly. When Shisen and Zetian heard Lei Shan's voice, their expressions changed drastically, and they looked over immediately. You were suppressed by the Dragon King so quickly? Shisen's eyes widened as he roared in disbelief. Yes, the Dragon King is not someone we can fight. If you don't want to die, surrender. Lei Shan nodded his head and tried to persuade them. I'll give you 10 seconds to consider. If you still resist after 10 seconds, you will die. Don't even think about reviving with your life-saving treasure. Wu Shuo can track the location of your god nation. Wang Xian looked at them and warned. He did not make a move. There was no need for him to do so now. They should know what to choose. I surrender. Shisen's expression changed drastically as he lowered his head. I submit as well. Zetian was a wood-type tree, and had an incomparably huge body. He returned to his human form and lowered his head. Surrender. Even if they didn't want to serve anyone, the other party had a magus and an old witch. Even if they had life-saving treasures, they would still be caught. At that time, he would be completely finished. Very good. Wang Xian's eyes were shining brightly. If heaven-shrouding Shisen subdued 2 more mad demons, then he would have subdued 7 mad demons. Each of the 7 berserk demons could fight against 3 first-order sovereigns. A top-notch expert of the Invincible domain. In the Invincible domain, there were only about 10 or so crazy demons. But now, the Golden Centipede Maniac Devil and the Crazy Devil Seal had been killed by Wang Xian. The Old Witch, Ming Shosheng, Water Demon, Yarrow Yi, Zetian, Shisen, and Lei Shan had submitted. The forces around Wang Xian were already extremely terrifying. After completely subduing Shisen Zetian, Wang Xian immediately brought them back to the interior of the Hengshu ancient celestial kingdom. All of you have consumed 200 eternal pregnancy fruits. How long will it take for you to break through? Wang Xian stood in front of them, swept his gaze across the 7 of them, and asked with flickering eyes, Dragon King, I'll need a few years or a decade to break through. Wu Shuo was the first to speak. Water Demon and the rest also made a rough guess. If it was fast, it would be a few years. If it was slow, it would be a decade. Don't be in a hurry to break through. Wait for a decade, especially in the Invincible domain. Wang Xian thought about it and said to them, First-order universe sovereigns were prohibited from fighting here. Therefore, they couldn't break through for the time being. In addition, heaven-shrouding Shisen Lei Shan, bring me all the divine fruits, divine herbs, and elixir pills in your Cosmos God Kingdom. Wang Xian continued to order them. Yes, Dragon King. Who was Zhe Tian? Lei Shan and the rest nodded their heads and responded immediately. Soon, a large number of resources were piled up in front of them. Wang Xian swept his gaze across, and his eyes were burning with passion. The resources for a breakthrough were sufficient. After another round of advancement, his strength would increase to a terrifying level. I'll level up first, then sell the eternal pregnancy fruits. Finally, I'll hunt for wild beasts and galactic giant beast. Wang Xian thought to himself. He waved his hand at Wu Shuo and the rest and started devouring the resources. All sorts of resources and treasures entered his stomach and were rapidly converted into dragon energy. The aura on his body was also rising continuously. Rumble, 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 ding. Congratulations on breaking through to the 8th Order Universe Venerable Realm. Ding. Congratulations on breaking through to the 8th Order Universe Venerable Realm. Days passed. 5 days later, a terrifying dragon aura and crisp sounds came from Wang Xian's dragon body. At the same time, the system's voice sounded. From his body, a terrifying aura surged towards the surroundings. Shadows of divine dragons circled around him. This Dragon King broke through? What a terrifying aura. This aura isn't any weaker than a second-order universe sovereign. Wu Shuo, Ming Shuo, and the other 6 crazy demons felt Wang Xian's aura. Their eyes narrowed and their faces were filled with shock. The aura isn't any weaker than a second-order universe sovereign. But the Dragon King hasn't broken through to the universe sovereign realm. How is this possible? How can he surpass so many levels? Ming Shuo Sheng said in shock. Once one reached the universe sovereign realm, one's combat strength wouldn't be measured. Generally speaking, as long as one broke through to the universe sovereign realm, he would be able to fight 3 levels higher than ordinary humans in the universe. If he could fight above his level, then there was no such thing as fighting above his level. Therefore, it would be measured by the realm. First Order Universe Sovereign was First Order Universe Sovereign. It wasn't the term for Fourth Order Universe Sovereign. This term was used for experts who hadn't broken through to the universe sovereign realm. Wang Xian's current strength was comparable to a second-order universe sovereign. If it was used for experts who hadn't reached the universe sovereign realm, then he would have the combat strength of a fifth-order universe sovereign. It was a little crazy to have such combat strength but hadn't broken through to the universe sovereign realm. One should know that according to the term for experts below the universe sovereign realm, a pinnacle universe venerable realm expert, even a disciple of a peak race, could only have the combat strength of a third-order universe sovereign. And the Dragon King was 2 levels higher than them? What kind of concept was this? This was completely abnormal. In the past, the Divine Dragon Clan also had such abnormal existences. The 5 Elements Dragon King and Yin-Yang Dragon King. However, it seemed like there was only one 5 Elements Dragon King and Yin-Yang Dragon King. Could it be that our Dragon King is also at this level? Wu Shuo guessed.